You knew this day would come. You just didn't think it would feel this quiet. The warehouse smells like oil and burned rubber. And suddenly, nobody's talking. You're holding a beer you don't want. Your hand is steady, but your pulse isn't. Across the table, Marco stops laughing. He stares at you like he's solving a puzzle. You've been inside this crew for 8 months. 8 months of dirt under your nails and lies in your mouth. You learned their routines. You memorized their scars. You drove their cars. You buried their secrets. You told yourself it was all for the badge, all for the city. But right now, none of that matters. Because Marco's smile is gone. And when a man like Marco stops smiling, it's never random. He leans back in his chair. The metal legs scrape against concrete. Funny thing, he says softly. Got a call tonight. Your throat tightens. But your face doesn't move. Someone said we got a rat. His eyes never leave yours. The room feels smaller. The exits feel farther away. You do the math automatically. 3 men by the door, 2 behind you, 1 on the stairs. Your gun is taped under the table, but so are theirs. You breathe in slow. You breathe out slower. Because if this is the moment, you don't get to panic. Marco tilts his head. And you know what? I believe him. And that's when you realize your cover isn't slipping. It's gone. Nobody reaches for a weapon. That's what makes it worse. Silence is heavier than gunfire. It stretches. It suffocates. You hear the hum of fluorescent lights. You hear your own heartbeat in your ears. Marco stands up slowly. Too slowly. He walks around the table. Each step deliberate. You don't turn your head. You don't track him. Undercover rule number 1. Never react first. He stops behind you, close enough that you feel his breath. You've been good to us, he says. Real, loyal. Your mind scans every mistake, every conversation, every text, every glance. Did you hesitate on a job? Did you ask too many questions? Or did someone else crack? Did someone trade your name for their life? Marco places a hand on your shoulder, heavy, warm, ownership disguised as affection. So I'm going to ask you something simple. He leans closer. Who do you work for? There it is. The question with no safe answer. You could lie. But he wouldn't ask unless he knew. You could reach for the gun. But you'd be dead before you cleared leather. You could confess. And hope they need you alive. Your training screams protocols. Your instincts whisper survival. You think about your handler. The last message. Extraction window uncertain. Stay dark. Stay dark. Easy to say from behind a desk. Marco squeezes your shoulder tighter. Not hard enough to hurt, just hard enough to remind you. He can. I don't work for anyone, you say calmly. I work for us. A pause. Too long. Then laughter. But not the friendly kind. Marco steps in front of you and pulls out his phone. He turns the screen toward your face. A photo. It's you walking into a precinct garage, not in uniform, but close enough. Your stomach drops, not because you're scared, because it's over. The room changes instantly. Air turns electric, chairs scrape, guns unholster. Nobody shouts, nobody rushes. This isn't chaos, it's procedure. They've done this before. Marco crouches down to your eye level, disappointment in his face. You almost had me, he says quietly. Almost. You don't beg. You don't explain. Undercover rule number 2. If burned, don't break. Because the moment you break, they own you. 2 men grab your arms. Rough. Efficient. They drag you off the chair. Concrete bites into your knees. You calculate distances again. Door. Window. Staircase. No clear shot. No clean escape. Your wire stopped transmitting hours ago. Battery failure. Or sabotage. Backup doesn't know. Backup isn't coming. Marco stands above you. A king over a fallen soldier. You know what I hate? He says. It's not cops. He crouches again. Eye to eye. It's betrayal. You want to tell him you were never his. That loyalty was always a mask. But the truth feels thin right now. Fragile. He nods to one of his men. A pistol presses against the back of your head. Cold metal. Steady hands. You close your eyes for half a second. Not in fear. In focus. You think about the first day at the academy. The oath. You think about the victims tied to this crew. The families. You think about the line between right and wrong, how blurry it became. You lied, you stole, you watched crimes happen to stay credible. And now you're here, alone. Marco sighs. Last chance, your mind clears. Strangely peaceful. This was always the risk. This was always the price. You open your eyes. And you smile. Not wide, just enough. If I was a cop, you say softly, you'd already be in cuffs. Silence. Then, gunshot. But it's not yours. The warehouse windows explode inward. Flashbangs detonate. White light. Deafening sound. The man behind you stumbles. His shot goes wild. You drop instantly. Training takes over. Shouting floods the room. Police. Down. Real sirens now. Not in your imagination. Marco reaches for his weapon. But he's too late. Tactical teams pour in like a storm. Precise. Ruthless. You roll to your side. Hands visible. Someone tackles the gunman behind you. Another pins Marco to the floor. It's chaos. But controlled. Within seconds, it's over. Just like that. You lie on the cold concrete. Breathing hard. Boots step around you. Cuffs click. A familiar voice cuts through the noise. Your handler. He kneels beside you. You good? You nod. Once. Adrenaline fading. They tipped us late, he mutters. We moved as soon as we confirmed. You sit up slowly. Look around. The crew you lived with for 8 months. Face down. Defeated. Marco turns his head toward you. Blood on his lip. No hatred now, just understanding. He finally solved the puzzle. Just too late. You stand on shaky legs, badge pulled from inside your jacket. It feels heavier than before. Not cleaner, not heroic, just heavy. You walk past Marco without a word, because there's nothing left to say. Outside, the night air hits your face. Cold, real, red and blue lights paint the sky. A city that never knew your name. Tomorrow you'll write reports. Testify in court. Maybe get a commendation. Maybe just another assignment, another name, another lie. Because this life doesn't end with applause. It resets. And next time, there might not be flashbangs. Next time, there might not be a handler outside the door. Next time, you might actually die in that chair. But tonight, you survived. And survival is enough. For no.